Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the most pivotal battles in history, examining the strategic context, operational art, and human cost of war. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're exploring one of the most infamous engagements in medieval warfare, the Battle of Roncevaux Pass. This legendary clash has captivated historians and military strategists for centuries, and its impact still resonates throughout European history. Located in the Pyrenees Mountains, Roncevaux Pass has long been a critical transit point between France and Spain, with the narrow defiles and steep slopes making it a formidable barrier to invading armies. The pass is situated near the modern-day border town of Roncesvalles, where the snow-capped peaks of the Pyrenees give way to the rolling hills of the Basque region. To understand the origins of this pivotal battle, we must examine the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined medieval Europe. In the late 8th century, Charlemagne's Frankish Empire was expanding rapidly, with his armies conquering much of Western Europe. The Franks had already established a foothold in the Iberian Peninsula, and their presence threatened the independence of the Basque tribes who inhabited the region. The Basques, a fiercely independent people with their own distinct culture and language, had long been a thorn in the side of the Frankish Empire. They had been raiding Frankish territories for years, using their knowledge of the mountainous terrain to launch surprise attacks and then melt away into the hills. The Franks, with their heavy armor and rigid formation tactics, were poorly suited to the guerrilla warfare employed by the Basques. In 778 AD, Charlemagne's army launched a campaign against the Moorish governor of Zaragoza, Abd al-Rahman al-Fihri, who had been raiding Frankish territories in southern France. The Franks captured the city of Pamplona, but their victory was short-lived as they were ultimately repelled by the Moorish forces. As Charlemagne's army retreated back across the Pyrenees, they left behind a rearguard, led by the legendary paladins Roland and Oliver, to protect their flanks and secure their lines of communication. The stage was set for a brutal and decisive confrontation, one that would test the mettle of both armies and leave an indelible mark on the annals of military history. The Basques, who had been watching the Frankish army's movements with great interest, saw an opportunity to strike back at their enemies and assert their independence. They had been gathering intelligence on the Frankish army's strengths and weaknesses, and they knew that the narrow defiles of Roncevaux Pass would be the perfect place to ambush their enemy. As we delve into the heart of Roncevaux Pass, we find ourselves in the midst of a sweltering summer in 778 AD. The Pyrenees Mountains tower above us, their snow-capped peaks giving way to steep slopes and narrow defiles that funnel the Frankish army into a killing zone. The air is thick with tension as the Basque tribes, led by their chieftain Orba, prepare to unleash a devastating ambush on the unsuspecting Franks. The Frankish rearguard, led by Roland and Oliver, consists of some of Charlemagne's most trusted and seasoned warriors. These paladins are the epitome of medieval chivalry, with their heavy armor, broadswords, and unwavering loyalty to their lord. However, they are vastly outnumbered, and their rigid formation tactics make them vulnerable to the Basque guerrilla warfare. As the Franks march through the pass, they're suddenly confronted by a hail of arrows, rocks, and spears, raining down on them from the surrounding hills. The Basques have chosen their ground carefully, using the terrain to funnel the Franks into a series of killing zones where they can be picked off at will. Roland and his companions fight valiantly, but they're vastly outnumbered and their lines begin to waver. The battle rages on for hours, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The Franks are slowly being pushed back, their formation beginning to break under the relentless pressure of the Basque attacks. In the midst of this chaos, Roland performs a heroic act of defiance, refusing to abandon his post and rally his troops even as all seems lost. As the sun begins to set on Roncevaux Pass, casting a golden glow over the carnage below, the Franks are surrounded and their fate is sealed. The Basques launch a final, decisive assault, cutting down Roland and his companions in a frenzy of bloodlust and revenge. The Frankish army is shattered, its remnants fleeing back across the Pyrenees, leaving behind a trail of dead and wounded. In the aftermath of this disaster, Charlemagne's reputation as a military leader is tarnished, and his empire begins to face challenges from all sides. The Battle of Roncevaux Pass becomes a cautionary tale, told and retold throughout medieval Europe, a reminder of the perils of underestimating one's enemies and the importance of adapting to changing circumstances on the battlefield. As we reflect on this pivotal moment in history, we're reminded of the words of the great medieval historian Einhard, who wrote, "The battle was fierce and bloody, with both sides suffering heavy losses. But in the end, it was the Basques who emerged victorious, having defended their homeland against the mighty Frankish Empire." As we examine the decline and aftermath of the Battle of Roncevaux Pass, it becomes clear that this disaster had far-reaching consequences for Charlemagne's empire. The loss of some of his most trusted and seasoned warriors, including Roland and Oliver, was a significant blow to the Frankish army's morale and military prowess. The battle also marked a turning point in Charlemagne's relationships with the Basque tribes, who would continue to pose a threat to Frankish authority in the region for centuries to come. In the years following the Battle of Roncevaux Pass, Charlemagne's empire faced numerous challenges, including rebellions from the Saxons and the Avars. The Frankish king was forced to divert significant resources to quell these uprisings, which weakened his ability to respond to other threats, such as the Viking raids on the Frankish coast. Despite these challenges, Charlemagne's legacy as a military leader endured, and he continued to expand his empire through a series of strategic campaigns. The Battle of Roncevaux Pass also had a lasting impact on medieval warfare, as it highlighted the importance of adaptability and flexibility on the battlefield. The Basque tribes' use of guerrilla tactics, including ambushes and hit-and-run attacks, proved to be highly effective against the Frankish army's traditional formation-based tactics. This led to a re-evaluation of military strategy among European armies, with a greater emphasis placed on mobility, surprise, and cunning. Today, the Battle of Roncevaux Pass remains an important part of European history and cultural heritage. The legendary tale of Roland's last stand has been immortalized in literature, art, and music, inspiring countless works of fiction and non-fiction. The battle also serves as a reminder of the enduring power of national identity and the importance of preserving cultural traditions. As we reflect on the Battle of Roncevaux Pass, we're reminded that even the most seemingly insignificant events can have far-reaching consequences. This battle, fought over 1,200 years ago, continues to influence our understanding of medieval warfare, European history, and the complexities of human conflict. As the great medieval historian Einhard wrote, "The memory of this battle will live on forever, a testament to the bravery and sacrifice of those who fought and died in the Pyrenees." And so, our journey through the Pyrenees comes to an end, but the legacy of the Battle of Roncevaux Pass lives on. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.